Hey everybody. Oops. Okay. So, pull up my page. Feel free to hit like or something when you get on so you know people are out there. And let me go ahead and just got my page up. Okay. So what I'm gonna work on tonight is I'm gonna combine two ones for my mom. So this is, what size is this? This is the transfer is 12 by 18, but these are 16 by 20. Just because I didn't have 12 by 18 ones when I was there looking, 16 by 20 was the next. So I know that when I do the Life is Better at Grandma's House, it's gonna have extra room on it. So I thought that I would do this on top of part of this. So actually put the flowers in the upper corners and then the birds in the lower corners, and just kind of see how that goes and decide what I want to do with the flower afterwards. So hopefully everything's in a good angle that you can see. Okay, I grabbed a bunch of paint colors. I couldn't decide what color I was going to do the Grandma's house in. But I may end up grabbing some red for my birds. So I'm just going to set the Grandma's house one to the side for now, because that's going to go on after this one. So hopefully this turns out well. I don't have to worry about the back of it because I don't have any hangers on it yet. I could put hangers on it after the fact. Little sawtooth hangers, or you can get a little cheap hanging kit at Walmart, Dollar Tree. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and open this one. This one's called Always Flowers. One of our groups does have a challenge with this one, so let's see how it comes out. Hello. Okay, alright. If you saw my post earlier, I was staining a bunch of boards, so I'm looking for like some feedback on what colors look best. I kind of like them all, it's just hard to decide. It's over here. And I'm just gonna grab my fuzz cloth. Actually, I'm gonna grab my big towel because my fuzz cloth is just about the right size, but I'll use my towel to clean it off afterwards. Hello. I'm gonna label the. Alright, I'm gonna label the back just because I need to get in a better habit of doing that. Usually, if you just run your finger along the edge, you can get it started. Probably the bigger ones, it's easier to pull them off this way because that helps keep them from getting all balled up. So as you can see, this transfer would fit on the 16 by 20 frame, but it's going to have excess along the edges, and I really don't want that. I want to kind of fill the frame. So I am going to fuzz it up a little bit. It is canvas, but I don't want to hurt the transfer because I've never used this transfer before, so it's going to be super sticky. Yeah, just do a half and half. Hey Lucy. I noticed, like when I watch some of the replays, that you'll see Lucy or Alice in the background just snooping around while I'm doing these. Okay, one more. And what you might want to do when you're doing a canvas is put something underneath, because you do have this little lip here. Trying to think of what I might have that would be the right height for it. It's a pretty cute. Actually, let's see, this is one of my 12 by 14 9 by 12 frames, so hopefully this will fit It fits under there. Just something that'll help a little bit. I know I have one a little bit thinner. I do. I just don't know if it's going to be too big. I'll put it on there. So the Odette boards are the thinner boards with the white chalkboard background. Let's see if this fits a little bit better. No, it's too big. Oh, perfect. All right. I'm going to go back to using this one just so I don't make the frame sag. I don't know if that's going to work or not. We'll see once I lay this down. So I pretty much want to do on this side this flower and leaf. Yeah, it's going to work. Hello. Maybe I shouldn't have fuzzed it so much. I'll try and see. I'll grab my tape. Just use this tape here. So you can, when you're taping it, you can use painter's tape, shabby tape. I should put painter's tape right here. Yep. This will probably work a little bit better for part of it. So I'm just going to kind of run it on the edge to try to hold it and put it over some of the letters to make sure that I don't touch them. It does make it so that you can be a little more careless when you're doing it. You don't have to freak out if you go over the edge and hit something else if you've got a little extra tape there. And it helps you remember that you're not doing the whole transfer, I'm just doing a section of it. I'm just getting the areas that are really close. Just because it's being a little weird on this canvas, I'm just going to put a little on the edge. It's because the middle does dip down. I'm going to find something better to put in there to hold it. Probably shouldn't have lost it. Yeah. This canvas is giving me a little bit of trouble. Feel free to hit like if you're on, or just popping in. Let's see what. Alright, that should help hold it in place while I'm doing it. And I'm gonna need my greens. So I've got my dark green. I think I'm gonna use, in addition to my dark green, I'm gonna use my olive, my shimmer olive, and then I'll give a little sparkle to it. Since Mom likes sparkly things. Pink. Oh, she likes pink. Ah, okay. Grab my little squeegees. And I'm just gonna keep rotating the board around just to make it easier for me to hold it down. We'll see how this is going. It's not wanting to stay down flat, I think, because of what's the bottom of this. That should help. Alright, I'm going to put that board back under there. That should help pop it up. Because the canvas is sliding down, which is making this not want to stick to it. But putting that box underneath it is helping. Yay! And the tape is helping. So doing a canvas, it can be a little difficult. The reverse canvas is much easier because you're taking the canvas off and you're laying it flat. All right, so In order to do this, I'm going to be mixing greens together. I'm just going to use all different kinds of greens and see. Actually, I'll use my shimmer olive to start. Just see how that goes on the green areas and see if I like it when I take it up. It's not too dark, it's not too light. The pistachio is a little too light for the white background. So, just gonna start down here because I've got that underneath it. I'm trying to hold it at the same time just to keep it from bleeding or anything. I made it a little more difficult for myself by not doing a reverse canvas, but I really want it on the canvas itself. And these flowers do have little buds on them. If anybody wants to help me pick out a color. I do have my guava, which I love. It's in the orangish color range. But then I've also got, let's see, so I grabbed out all these different colors. If you guys can see them, you should be able to see them over there. You want to pick any, plus I have more behind me. Actually haven't used this olive shimmer in a while, but the shimmers are just always in perfect condition. I don't know why. Pretty sure that the new formula of the new paste is based on how they made the shimmers because it's really similar, but nothing compares to the shimmers. Plus they're nice and sparkly. And I don't usually care for sparkles, but I really do like them. I've got pretty much the green area all done. And as long as I like that, I won't be using my dark green. And I think I'm gonna do no comments on colors. The guava's like a reddish orange, more in the orange range. And then I do also have tulip, which is just a slight shade darker. So I think I'll start with these two. Maybe try to mix some yellow in there as well. Tulip. Remember the new paste formula has the foam covers on it. Just leave them in there. I really gotta get some glue to stick down there. Make it easier on myself. Alright, so I'm gonna use my little half cut mini squeegee. Remember the size of the squeegees, you can easily cut them with scissors. They're just I'm drawing a blank on it. But they're just the little rubber silicone ones. So I'm gonna kind of mix the colors. So I'm gonna put a little bit on each. Kind of like how you see some where they've got one color is like fading into another. So hopefully that's what we get. So I use my guava and try the golden hour, which is the new seasonal yellow, which is a really pastel Eastery kind of yellow. Add a little mini squeegee here. just with one squeegee, I'm gonna try to combine them together. Make sure I hit all the little buds on the edge because there's some down here. The guava is gonna overwhelm the yellow, so I'm trying to be careful when I do it. A little stir stick to put this on the edge. So since the guava is darker, it's gonna overwhelm the yellow. So I wanna be careful how I blend it together. I'm not too worried about the yellow touching the guava. I'm more worried about the guava touching the yellow. Just because it's gonna wanna basically hide all the yellow. And even if I put the yellow on top of it afterwards, it's wanting to change to an oranger color. Alright, so I think I got each section. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this off and see how it looks underneath. That came out good. And I was expecting it to come out after having trouble with the beginning of the tape. I got one little bit up here. I'm gonna need to wash it off in between each one, but because my container was close to the edge here, it got some golden hour on the edge. So I'm just gonna take a little wipe. There's two ways you can do it. You can either take a paper towel with water, and I'm just gonna dip it in my water bucket, or you can take like a Clorox wipe or disinfectant wipe and just wipe the edge. So since it's still wet, it should easily come off here. So I got it wet, and now, where's my little eraser? I'm just gonna put the eraser on the edge of it. The erasers just have like a knack for pulling up chalk paste and ink. I don't know why, they just do. Hopefully. I didn't have anything on paper towel. One thing that disinfecting wipes do is they will speed up the drying process because of the alcohol in them. So if you ever need something to dry quicker, just put this over it after you've washed it, and it'll cause it to dry. So just speed it up. So, not sure how well you can see that. So I'm gonna hold it up so you can see it a little bit better. So the colors I used were the olive shimmer, guava, and the yellow, the golden hour. But as you can see, the yellow turned orangish because of the guava. So now I actually want to do the other upper corner, but first I need to wash off my transfer because I don't want this getting on areas that I don't need it. So I'm going to grab my towel and just clean it off. And that might be something that you have to do when you're doing different transfers if you're doing combination ones. So let me go ahead and put this down. Pull the tape up because I don't need the tape on there anymore. But I will reuse it on the other side. So a lot of this tape is good. Since I'm doing it right away, I'm just gonna reuse it. Right, so for anybody who hasn't seen cleaning it before, I just spray it down with water. It doesn't have this. If you're spraying water in jars, use distilled or bottled water. But if it's just on cleaning something, you can just use any kind of water. Tap water is fine. A lot of people do it right in their kitchen sink, so. Clean this up. Make sure that I get both sides of it. And it's okay to go over it a second time if you want to, you know, if you're not sure that that it's clear. Do that, and I'm going to get this side. It's important to do the back because when you're cleaning it, you're actually pushing stuff through the silkscreen mesh area. You're pushing it through. That's basically how it gets onto the towel, but if you're sliding your transfer around it all because it's not sticking, of course, on the towel completely, you can also get some on the back side. And you'll notice as soon as you flip it over if you have some on there or not. But I'm going to use a Clorox wipe to like speed it up so it'll dry quicker. This side's pretty much already dry. So I really like how that corner came out. For those who haven't seen it. So now I'm gonna move my jars out the way that I'm not gonna use. I'll end up using some of these when I get to the grandma's house part. I'll probably do like that in pink and purple maybe. Now I'm gonna do this other corner, so I'm gonna get the box under the corner. And the reason I ended up putting the box under there, this is already dry enough for me to touch. But as a precaution, I'm gonna put this over it, just so that when I put this down, this sticky part, if it is wet, it's not gonna mess with it, if it has any water drops in there, and it's not gonna pull up any paste by mistake. So, and it's not gonna hurt what's already down there. Let me try to get this lined up as best I can. And then I'm gonna reuse my tape from last time. And remember I'm using the tape because I wanna make sure it's nice and secure, because it's a canvas and it's not flat canvas. It's a stretch canvas, so it's got the gap under there, and the box is helping with that, but it just doesn't want to really cooperate completely. Oops. Make sure I get this under there. This is something I'm doing just as an extra precaution. Alice! That's Alice, everybody. A little turkey. Every time she runs outside, she wants to come in and tell me about it. Although I have no idea what she's saying. Okay, so I've got those with little berries. And again, I'm just doing this with this tape. Tape off where I've got letters that are close, just so that I don't have to be so, I can be as messy as I want when I'm doing it. So I always say, know your level of messiness, whether or not this is a good move for you to do it or not. If you're super messy, do the extra tape. So like my mother, do the extra tape. For her, it's not so much that she's really messy, she just gets really anxious when she's doing it and she's afraid to mess it up. And in doing that, she gets all nervous, and that's usually where she ends up messing up. That, and then she overthinks it. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to start with the shimmer olive again and do the leaf section. Do the leaves first, and then I will do the mixing of the colors. And the green I'm using is the shimmer olive, which appears to be a good choice because it's showing up good on the green. The green on the white background. When I've used the pistachio, which is the new seasonal green, it's the lighter Easter color green, that tends not to show up so well on a white background. It shows up and you can see it. It just, like, if you're, I suppose if I really wanted this to fade into the background and not stand out so much, because it's going to be on, if it was completely underneath this Life is Better at Grandma's House part, that part, then I probably would have wanted to do more of the pistachio so that it would, you know, kind of hide it a little bit. Just fade into the background, more or less. Oops, I got a little bit of gob on there. I just grabbed an extra squeegee because I got green in a little area, the flower area. I want to try to get some of it off. Sorry I'm being quiet. I got a little focused on this after I messed up that one area by getting green on the flower. Okay, so I got all my green in there. To the side. Now I'm gonna do again my guava and then the yellow. And I do still have some from last time, so I'm gonna take some of this and plop it down in some of the areas since they're already, then I'm not wasting anything because it does have a lot of the guava already mixed into it. And I'll add some more in yellow to it. Sometimes little stir sticks can be good, so you can pinpoint little areas. I'm just dropping little gobs of yellow down in different areas. Making a little bit of a mess, just a little bit. I'm gonna take my squeegee that I had already started mixing the colors with last time, and just gonna smooth these out, remembering that the guava is gonna overwhelm the yellow when they touch. That's why last time when I pulled it up and show you this time, it's probably not gonna look like there's very much yellow. It's gonna look more orangish. That's just because the guava overwhelms the yellow. You see little hints of yellow, but majority of it is the guava. Just trying to clean off my squeegee so that it's not so that I can get more of the yellow to show up, and so I can get some of the guava off of this so that it can show up more on the board. Okay. So don't be afraid to hit like when you're out there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull my tape off. And this was holding the edge because it's the stretched canvas and it's not, which means that it can't be flat. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it up. Nice and easy. All right, so I've got the flowers on both sides of the top. And I'm gonna go ahead and clean this part while this dries. And this, because it's a canvas and it's a more cloth material and it's chalk paste, it's just gonna dry pretty quickly, which will give me enough time to get this cleared up so that I can then put the birdies down the lower corners of the canvas. So because I'm doing each section, it is taking me a little long. It's taking me longer than normal. But if you want different elements from different transfers, it's basically what you have to do in order to accomplish that. And being that it is a canvas, I can end up washing it off if I really didn't like it, or if something wasn't turning out the way I hoped. But so far, so good. I'm using the eraser on it, and then I'm taking the Clorox wipe and going over it because the alcohol in the Clorox wipe will help speed up the drying process. And I'm going to flip it over to do the other side. So if you heard me before, unless you're just turned in, the reason it's important to do this other side is that when I just cleaned that the top side, I pushed chalk paste through the transfer. And it came out on the towel, but some of it, because it wasn't down, you know, I didn't stick it right to the towel, some of it will inevitably slide around the back. And as soon as you flip it over, you'll see that that happened. Okay, and my Clorox wipe to speed up the drying. Canvas back. So kind of did it the wrong way. Darn it. I was meant to do the flowers here and here so that the Life is Better at Graham's house is in the middle. I wonder how it's going to look with birds on the different sides. I'm going to go for it and see. I'm going to have to find out. Hey, Melissa. I meant to do my flowers here and here for the Life is Better at Grandma's house, and then birdies on the bottom. But that I don't believe is gonna work. Just touch and feel it. Yeah, these should be pretty dry. So let's go in that direction. Grab out some more tape. So I'm doing the bird. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to leave the flower in there. It's close to those leaves. I think I'm just going to do the bird. I can decide afterwards if I want to add the flower in anywhere. Or I have other flowers from last month's Wild and Free transfer that I can add. So this part I'm going to do the vine with the bird on it. And then that's it. But I'm going to put this right here to remind myself to stop and not do that flower. Otherwise I get carried away when I'm chalking. This is the Always Flowers one. It's one of the ones that I got because I thought I ordered a different one. It must be when I put the number in, I put the wrong number in. It was a surprise one when I got my order. It's also this is also the one that is the on the list of those flower transfers that Chalk Couture has the contest going for this month. Okay, so I've got my shimmer olive again, so I can do my branches. And I'm gonna stick with doing green on the branch. I'm not gonna worry about brown. So does anybody have opinion if I should use, what color the bird should be? So blue, yellow, you do a couple colors in it. Oops, stuck that in the wrong jar. I need to actually switch over to my multi-tool because it's got the smaller squeegee on it. So that's going to help get in these little areas by the bird's feet so I don't get the bird's feet in green by mistake. It'd be kind of funny if these birds were crows because Mom's always yelling. Mom is always yelling at the crows that they swoop in and they eat all the food, but then the little birdies don't get it, like the little chickadees and stuff. Although Dad does too. Stealing all the birds' food. They are birds. Green leaf's done. Any color options anybody thinks on the birds? Okay. Well, these were the two for my flowers. I think I'm gonna do a lighter color. So maybe I'll do like my colonial blue and my ocean mist blue. So it's like a true blue and a baby blue. I'll do like a mixture of those. But I am going to use my little color that's mixed together for the beak. Cute little colorful beak. The colorful on their feet too. Why not? But I'm not wasting this excess paste, making use of it. Okay. So with another stir stick, I'm gonna grab a little bit of the guava. These flowers look more like buds compared to the other ones, so got that and get some yellow. And use my little squeegee to squeeze them together. Yay! Hopefully this is, that looks pretty good. Since they're more buds, I've got more yellow at the tip. Compared to the open flowers. Looks pretty good. All right, time to do the bird. The bird, I'm gonna do a similar effect. I'm gonna take my blue, which as you can see looks clumpy because it's the old formula. Doesn't hurt it or anything. Just using up all my old formula before I get my new formulas. So, what do I got? Oh, little squeegees left in there. Okay, I got. So I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some blue. Some blue. Some blue. And then I'm gonna go in with some lighter blue. Just to fill in the gaps. Alright, let's see how this goes. At the same time I'm putting in the lighter blue, I'm like spreading out any of the dark blue that's still left there. No specific pattern to it. Just making sure I get all the sections. All right, time to pull it up and check it out. Grab my outside tape off first. I like the effect that it had on the bird. Not too sure about the orange bird feet, but it's all right. Okay, I'm trying to squeeze this off to the side so I can clean it over here. Just 'cause I don't want to get too much on there. I want it to be able to dry so I can do the last corner. So I have to figure out how that last corner is going to go. That go falling background. Sorry if you can't see me cleaning it that well. You get a lot of stuff on your squeegee, just put it in water, just like when you're doing dishes and rinse it out. My clock's white to go over it to help speed it up, and then put it over to the side. If you hear the squeaky on it, that's good. It means it's still sticky, which is what you want. So. Dry a little bit. And grab this that just fell over. Oh. There we go. Alright. So now that I've got the leaves and the birds, do I want to put more of the flowers up here? Or do I want to try to do another bird? I don't think I'm going to try to do another bird. But it's going to be at the wrong angle. Or it's going to look like the bird's hanging upside down. And I really don't want the bird to hang upside down. Okay. Oops. Here. So I do want to put something in this corner. What I've got left on the transfer that I haven't used yet. So if I did a bird, the bird would be like upside down, and I really don't want that. I do have extra leaf sprigs here, so I'm like duplicating that. I could just duplicate the whole flower on this side, up and over. That's probably what's going to look best, is doing part of the flower. Should I go like this? Oops. Ah! Oh no. I touched a little bit of it. Wasn't completely dry. I'm trying to patch it. Not perfect, but alright, so I really need to be careful that's not completely dry yet. I think the reason this is taking a little bit longer to dry is the blue areas are bigger than these smaller flower areas that I did. So while I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for flowers, and I think I'm just going to do the one flower up here in the corner. Not even gonna, well, actually I could crisscross those leaves. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I need to put something here so that it does not touch my little birdie. It's not gonna be big enough. Right. Get out, my birdie. Right. Just need to find something big enough to put on there, under there. Grab one of my little. I'm just using one of my other little transfers. Putting it down just to protect the birdie. Okay. Yep, that's what I'm going with, Melissa, the flowers. And I'm actually going to have them overlap in the middle at the top, so hoping that will look better. Let's put this on here. Oops. This is turning out to be a longer one tonight, because I am messing this and I haven't even done my really big transfer yet. For the middle. Okay, grab some tape. And just reusing the tape, no sense in wasting it. It's just going on the edge. And you can do it without the excess tape. I find it's helping me with the stretch canvas. When it's not sticking in a ball like that. So, let's see, get this right down here. So I'm going to do the flowers like I did before over here, but the leaf greenery is actually going to be overlapping on top of what's already there. So let's see how this goes. There's a little squeegee. Try to grab the right one. Oh, hello. I haven't been talking too much tonight. I did a lot of staining today. Well, I mean, I worked today, but after work I did some staining. And then I have to go on back on and do some more work tonight to get something finished. And I got some last minute requests for things. Like, they have to be done today. I didn't tape off the flowers and stuff this time. I'm daring to get right on close to them. The more that you do the chalk or the ink, the more comfortable you're gonna feel. even if you're just doing it in one sitting. By the time you get to the end, especially if it's a big project like this one, you're just gonna be like, oh, no, I can be careful. Just know your level of messiness. It's like that better be safe than sorry thing. Okay, so I've got all my green stuff on here. I just gotta do my flowers. I think I got it all. Yeah. Okay, so do I have any? I do have some of this left, but so I'm gonna use some of the stuff that I left before on the little buds. So I'm doing some guava and then some golden hour. And honestly, you don't even have to use the stir sticks necessarily. You can just stick your finger in the jar. So if you don't have stir sticks, it's not a big deal. So the last part is I'm just taking clean squeegee and just pulling it down in. I'm pulling the yellow into the guava as much as I can, just because the guava is going to overwhelm everything. Going to make it easier for me in the end. And then cleaning off my squeegee is part of it, because eventually the guava on the squeegee is going to overwhelm everything else. Alright, so it looks like there's only one little small spot that I came close to going on the edge. I know where the edge with. So pull my tape off. And I shouldn't need to keep any more of the tape. That away and pull this one up. Okay. And then here you can see where I crisscrossed them. Probably could not crisscross them, but it's fine. It looks a little darker in one spot. That's just because it's still wet and it'll dry. So I'm just going to set this here for a second. I like it. Honestly, I probably could have done flowers all the way around. I'll have to remember that for another project. Hi, Mariah. How are you? Have you taken the stuff out of your kit yet? Did you say the other night that you haven't taken your stuff out? Or was that somebody else? I couldn't wait to take the stuff out of my kit. And every time they release a new kit each month, I kind of want to play with it and buy the kit all over again. But I already had like a supply of stuff. So I was ready to go. By the time the kit got here, I was like, yes. That's all clean. I'm just going to set it to the side to dry, and I'm going to grab, so this one, Life is Better at Grandma's House, is what I want to put in the middle of it. I'm trying to think of what color I want to do it in. need that to be dry. I know that's not dry, but my birdie's finally dry. So that shouldn't, this part should dry pretty quickly. It's the part where it's overlapped that might take a little bit longer. But in the meantime, I can take this out. Mistakenly set the clear plastic on top of one that's drying. All right. So while that's drying, I'm just going to pick up some of my mess here. Throw this stuff in. That's just killing a little bit of time while it's drying. Put my colors back. Takes. So again, the colors I used were Guava and then Golden Hour, which is one of the en vogue current colors, and then Shimmer Olive, which I think Shimmer Olive is sold out because it was a seasonal one for Christmas time, and they discontinued it. So if it's a color that you do want, you want to go on and grab it quickly, because once it sells out, if it's not already sold out, it'll be gone. But there is sage. There's like 4 or 5 other different greens in there that you can choose from if you want looking for a green color. Plus, you can always mix colors together. Like there's a Shimmer Frost, so you can mix that with any of the greens. You can actually mix it with sage, and it'll come out really close to this olive shimmer. So sage and Shimmer Frost. Whew. All right. So I do like that. Dare touch it. Okay, I mean it's still a little tacky, but it's dry enough where I can touch it. So I can try to figure out where I want this is. I am not gonna do the border around the edge of Life is Better at Grandma's House, obviously. I'm just gonna do the words, and then I don't even know if I'm gonna do the key. So I do have to pick the colors. How about pink and purple? Mom really likes pink. Could do it in a black color or shimmer silver. What else do I got for shimmers? Copper. Frost definitely is not going to show. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to stick with the pink and purple. I mean, tulip is another shade. Could consider tulip. Move these out of my way. There's also my raspberry sorbet, which is like a pinkish purple together. Anybody have any suggestions? Any? We do also have Tide. So many color choices, I can't choose. Okay, I think the Shimmer Melon is going to be too light, but she loves the Shimmer Splash, which is one of the new colors. So, of course she's not on to tell me what color she wants. So I've got Shimmer Splash, my tulip. Both of those will look good with it. I'll take the pink and purple out. Alright, those are out. Process of elimination. And then this is, she loves pinks, so this comes out pretty pink. You know what? She didn't tell me what she wanted, so she is gonna get Meeny, Miny, Mo. See if this is feeling drier, so should be pretty close to being ready. And of course I have a little bit of cat hair on there from when Alice jumped up in the middle of the project. Right, pull this off. Oops, there we go. And I'm fuzzing it up because I don't want it to be super sticky because I don't want it pulling up anything underneath it. So especially, I don't really care if the middle's fuzzed where the Life is Better at Grandma's House part is, but the border around the edge, I do not want that to be sticky because that's gonna pull up my flowers and burr and stuff. And as you can see, it is pretty sticky. So I'm not pushing down the middle part, I'm just pushing down the edge, but I mean, naturally it's gonna get a little fuzzed. Whew, deep breath. You see it's sticking on itself, so it's still pretty sticky. Box again, go underneath it to raise it up just enough to help. Anybody want to decide the color for me? I can't pick the color. I got Tulip, Raspberry Sorbet, and Shimmer Splash. Shimmer Splash would tie in with the birdie. Raspberry Sorbet is different than all the colors. Tulip ties in more with the flowers, but it's brighter and bolder than the flowers. The nice thing about the silkstream transfers is you can see right through. Oh, and the G's gonna go perfectly up to the birdie without covering the bird. Yeah. All right. So let's see how this looks. If this turns out really good, I'll probably make some more. Anybody wants to request any? But I'll probably do them on wood. I just cannot decide. Oh, this might be one of my longest lives. Well, because I can't decide on color. I'm going with the color. I'm going with the Raspberry Sorbet because it does not match any of the other colors. So I used this the other night on the welcome sign that Raspberry Sorbet is like a pinkish purple color, but when it dried with the white background, when I did the welcome sign, it really looks pink. Like a true pink color. So it's definitely going to stand out on this. And I'm actually going to use my small squeegee, which is really, I really want to call it large, but technically it's a small and mini. I don't know how they came up with that, but. And I'm just going to do the lettering all in the same color. Oh, for some reason my heat just kicked on. I got it down like 68. It must be getting cooler out. Chalk paste, you can go in any direction you want. Just trying to keep in mind that I don't want to do the edge because I don't want that square border. Sometimes I get going and forget and just chalk everything in sight. So Mother's Day is coming up, so if anybody wants anything like this, let me know. Oh, and guess what? I already started chalking the keys, so the key's going in. But I think I'm going to go over the key with like a darker color. So it stands out a little different from the at Grandma's. Cleaning up my mess as I go. And I'm just gonna, since I got the shimmer splash right here on hand, I'm gonna grab that and I'm gonna go over the key. I got some on the lid. When I dropped the jar before. So if you do drop the jar, it is gonna obviously get stuff on the lid. And I can still see the pink underneath it. It's just going to give it a little shimmer, a little darker color to it. All right, time to pull it up and see what we got. And hopefully it doesn't pull up anything underneath it. If you're worried about any of that or any bleeding or anything, go nice and slow. This definitely has a summery vibe to it with the colors. Oh, and then my key, when I added the shimmer splash on top of the raspberry sorbet, came out kind of purpley. So that I wasn't expecting, but it's good. Looks good. Let me spread this out so I can clean it after. Actually, I'm gonna set it in there. Now let it soak on there for a minute. Oh, that's okay. Do your homework. Okay, so I'm gonna hold it up so you can see it. Hopefully you can kind of see it, but it definitely has like summer beachy, perfect for spring break. For those of you who actually are on spring break, I see quite a few people went away and our COVID numbers are going up, which is, we'll see how we are in 2 weeks. So what do you guys think? You see this okay? Do I have stuff in the way? Facebook has a delay, so usually takes me a minute. Okay. There we go. So we've got from our Always Flowers, we got the little birdie, the leaves on 3 different corners. Love how the colors came out. It's definitely like a tropical summery spring color. And then the key has the raspberry sorbet because I just wasn't paying attention and did it at the same time as I did the Life is Better at Grandma's House. But I added shimmer splash on top of it. And that made it a little purpley, but also glittery. Yeah, I do like the flower and bird transfer. And it was one that I accidentally ordered, so it turned out pretty good. Okay. All right, so this one is done. I will take, because I know sometimes it's hard to see with the reflection of the light I've got here, so the colors. So I'll take a picture and pop it online, so that you can really get a true sense of it. But yeah, so raspberry sorbet is a really good color if you're doing like a spring or tropical, especially with the oranges and yellows. Awesome. All right, I am going to sign off. If anybody has any questions, let me know, or message, hit like, comment, share the video to get entered in a drawing. And if there's anything you want to see, or if you have an opinion on the stains that I used earlier, so I have that up on my wall to see. I like them all, honestly. But we'll see. So I'll be doing some more signs. All right, everybody have a good night. It is Wednesday, halfway through my vacation. All right, night everybody. Hope you got to go outside and enjoy the day. Bye.